Good morning. Today is Thursday, the 11th of September, and fall planting season is well underway. So here we go with an inventory walkthrough video of the nursery so that you know what we have in stock. All right, we have lots of Sweetheart Ponca blackberries, lots of Cotto blackberries, Triple Crown, some Natchez, mostly Natchez in gallon pots, but we do have, about 4 quart pots of Natchez. Just a few red raspberries left, Georgia Red. I believe there might be one. Yeah, there's one AAC Eden back there. All in quart pots, some Jewel black raspberry in quarts in 1 gallon, and a few Royalty purple raspberry. Lots and lots of elderberries. We have Ranch in quarts and gallons, Wildwood in gallons and quarts, Marge in gallons and quarts, and Bob Gordon. Lots of Bob Gordon, but just in quart size. A few honeyberries left, Svetlana, Indigo Treat, Check 17, and Pollinizer. And here the blueberries are looking great. We've got mostly gallon pots of blueberries, although we do have lots of Blu-ray in quart size. So Blue Crop, Polaris, Polaris is down there. That's Patriot. Hannah's Choice, Blu-ray, Aurora, more Hannah's Choice and Blue Crop, Phillips, High Bush Cranberry, a couple cats. Aronia, we have Mackenzie, Nero, and Viking. Here we have the pink bush clover, which is looking amazing right now. This one is Pink Fountains, and this lighter one over here is Salmon Dare. We do have both of those in quart pots over on the herb table. I'll show you those later. But look at that, Pink Fountains is amazing right now. Let's see, Aronia. That's the black chokeberry, by the way. Gummies, we have a decent amount of gummies finally. Still no Carmine clones. We do have Carmine seedlings in the little 3-inch pots for $4. Sweet Scarlet clones, those are tier 2. The seedlings are tier 1, so those are $16 in the quart size. We have 2.5 flats of the Sweet Scarlet, and then seedlings of both Sweet Scarlet and Carmine. Those are just little guys. Alright, we have lots of the Flying Dragon Trifoliate Orange, Hardy Citrus, a few slightly more tropical things here like Yuzu, Improved Meyer Lemon, some turmeric, Nova Super Dwarf Bananas, Hardy Figs, that MTB, which I still need to ask Darren what that is, I forget. Abu George in quart pots, Latarula, Chicago Hardy, and then in gallon pots we have Brooklyn White, Improved Celeste, Magnolia, Syrian Dark. Lots of Syrian Dark, that's one of our favorites, so we started a ton of it. Violette de Bordeaux and Rhone de Bordeaux. Some Amorpha fruticosa, false indigo bush, a sycamore tree, so 1 black locust, a bunch of seedling Kentucky coffee trees left. Looks like someone got all the 2-gallon pots of those. We've got some red bud in gallon pots, And red bud and quart pots. Not very happy this time of the year. Getting ready for winter. Heart nuts, seedlings of an improved variety, some wild pecans, a bunch of seedlings of Kanza pecan, shellbark hickories, blue moon hickory seedlings, some bur oaks in quart pots, some very sad little chinkapin seedlings. They're just tiny little guys still. And lots of chestnuts. Darren really needs to go through these chestnuts because there's a bunch of crazy stuff here. I don't know. A lot of these are Chinese chestnuts. There are some Chinese American crosses. And there's like Japanese chestnuts and who knows what. I don't know. We have several Javid's almond left on the semi-door fruit stock. I believe we might have some on a door fruit stock in the back. Beaked hazel, hybrid hazelnuts, eastern hazelnut, and those are in both gallons and quarts. The eastern hazelnut, those are the native hazelnuts. All right, down here, the pears have all gone dormant already. We have Harrow Sweet, Honey Sweet, lots of Honey Sweet, Sunrise, Magnus, Red Claps, Bosque, some Shenandoah in gallon pots. Most of these are 2-gallon pots, which are $36 for the tier 2 plants. Bosque, Shenandoah. Okay, persimmons. We have some more Spurton, Mount Roman Kosh, and the NBO2. Let's see, sour cherries. We have Montmorency, Carmine Jewel, some bush cherries, the Nanking bush cherry, a couple seedlings left, and some clones of Cherepoogie Nanking bush cherry. Some Danube sour cherry. I think there are more sour cherries on the other side of the table, but we'll have to see. Those might be it. Some wild white peaches. Actually, those are fruiting right now, so if you want to try them, come on down tomorrow or this coming Tuesday, and you can try those out. Flowering quince, we have an old-fashioned red one, Cameo, which is a dwarf thornless flowering quince, and Toyo Nishiki, which is another old-fashioned one. It's pink, white and pink. We have Toyo Nishiki in all 3 sizes. That is tier 1, so $8 in quarts, $16 in gallons, and $28 in that 2-gallon. All right, just a few plums, Methley, and some blackthorn, like slow plums. Harrow Diamond peaches. Let's see, we've got mostly peaches on the semi-door fruit stock, but the ones that say K1, that is a large dwarf size. So we've got Harrow Diamond on both root stocks, Raritan Rose on both, Madison on both, Reliance on both root stocks. More of those wild white peaches. These are tier 1 because they're seedlings, so they are just $4 in that 3-inch size. Lots of apples, Arkansas Black. These are all on semi-door fruit stock, and we do have some dwarf apples down there at the end. But we have Arkansas Black, Enterprise, Geneva crab, Liberty, lots of Liberty, Molly's Delicious, Red Free, William's Pride, and Pristine. And then on the door fruit stock, we have Molly's Delicious, Pristine, Arkansas Black, Geneva Crab, Liberty, and Red Free, and Enterprise. Oh, and some William's Pride. All right. Down here, the larger pears. Oh, and a few larger apples here. We've got some Molly's Delicious on semi-door and Red Free. And then pears, Sunrise, Red Claps, Honey Sweet, Harrow Sweet, Magnus, Potomac, more Red Claps, Shenandoah, Kefir, Korean Giant, lots of Korean Giant, that's one of our favorites. I'm not seeing any Shinseki, but I feel like we ought to have a few at least. You'll have to call and ask about that one. Some bigger peaches down here. We have Reliance on the semi-dwarf and the dwarf, and Raritan Rose. Seedless Che, or Chinese Melonberry. We have lots of really nice 2-gallon size Che. And I know we also have those in gallons, and maybe a few quarts. Those are almost ready to ripen. If you want to try any, probably in the next, probably in about 2 weeks, those will be ripe. They're really yummy. Oh, and I know somewhere we do have a couple other varieties that may or may not be self-fertile. Yeah, there we go. Jewelry. And I think there should be some California Dreaming somewhere, but I'm not seeing it here. All right, and then we've got some big elderberries, Wildwood, Ranch. For some reason there are blueberries down here now, I guess. St. Cloud and Polaris. Sorry, I haven't been in the nursery much lately because I'm working in the wood shop right now. And I don't know where Darren's moved everything here. Aronia. Okay, so we have the larger 2-gallon Aronia down here as well. So we've got Nero and Mackenzie Aronia in the 2-gallon pots. Oh, and some Autumn Brilliant Service Berries. So we still have those. Those are tier 2 service berry. So those are 36 in the 2-gallon pots. 1 flowering dogwood, some bamboo, Tiranishiki flowering quince, some Chinese chestnuts, orange basket willows, some sumac, some really nice looking ginkgo trees here. You've got a female Salem lady, and then a bunch of male, mostly gold spire, but also some tubifolia. See, it sort of makes like a tube shape leaf. And I think there's a jade butterfly in here somewhere. Is this one? Yeah, that's jade butterfly. Some Oja Santa from the greenhouse that's not hardy. Winged sumac, a thornless honey locust. It's that one's grafted. It's Calhoun. Cali Gold banana, again not hardy. And then some hardy figs. Marseille Black BS. Magbar. There should be some Chicago Hardy in there. Yeah. And probably some Latarula. Yep, Latarula. Alright, and then the water plants. We have some of our native white water lilies. The scented, what do you call it? Anyways, I'm forgetting all my words. And some pink water lilies. Lots and lots of fairy moss, although that is not hardy here. That's the Carolina fairy moss. Some corkscrew rush. This cool pennywort, crystal ball pennywort. Some sweet flag. Some blue lobelia. Sagittaria lancifolia. Lizard tail. Broad-leaved arrowhead or duck potato. Soft rush. More of that crystal ball pennywort. More the variegated sweet flag. Soft stem bulrush. Lots of sochan. That can either be in dry soil or wet. Swamp milkweed. Same for that. Marshmallow and obedient plant. Those are all things that like wet ground but can also grow in dry situations. Alright, here is the clearance table. I still don't have a sign on the clearance table, but it's all 50% off. We've got some willow, some Marge elderberry, just because we have way too much of it. Lots of willow. We're sort of getting out of some of the willows. They haven't sold very well. And some black currant. Well, it was supposed to be consort black currant, but we're pretty sure it is not. So we don't know what variety we got sent there. We assume it's a red currant, but who knows. Alright, lots of pawpaw seedlings. And we do have grafted pawpaws that are, I don't know, they're ready to go if you're willing to like protect them over the winter. They were just grafted this summer and are, I don't know, not really ready to go, but you can take them home if you want to risk it just for the sake of getting the varieties you want. But we have Sunsprout, IXL, Jerry's Big Girl, Layman's Delight, Atwood, Mango, Tropical Treat, Chappelle, Pina Colada, Halvin Sidewinder, KY Champion, Summer Delight, Alhorn White, Overlease, DEC Norma. Yeah, I think that's it. Go back around to the other side here. Okay, so on the front side of this table, we have lots of the seedling pawpaws. They're seedlings of improved varieties. Those are just $8 in the quart pots and $16 in gallon size. Some really nice mulberries this year. Now, Girardi dwarf mulberry is a tier 3 tree now. And because it's been so much harder to graft and to keep in stock than the other varieties. So that means that it is $24 in the quart size and $38 in the gallon size. The other mulberries are all just tier 2. They're 16 in quart size and 24 in gallon size. So we have a couple Girardi on their own roots, and some Viola's lavender on its own roots, Collier. The rest of these are all grafted. Collier, a couple white fruiting, GH1, Girardi, Italian, Korean Kakuso, and these taller, these are still considered gallon size, but they are taller pots, which is cool. We've got a couple Girardi Dwarf and Italian up there. Illinois Everbearing, more Kakuso, more Girardi, and then some red mulberry seedlings. Those are just tier 1. Rups Romanian in a 2-gallon pot there. A Kakuso in the 2-gallon pot. And then ribes, we have Pixwell Gooseberry, Minash Miriu, Black Currant, a couple seedling clove currant. That's our native clove currant. Some Amish gooseberry in gallon pots. The only red currants that we have right now are these Flor de Sablon pink currant. And they lost all their leaves this summer, which they usually do. They have a harder time in the hot summers, and this was a particularly bad one. So I'm not quite ready to sell those until spring to make sure that they leaf out again successfully, because it was such a hard summer for everything. Black currants don't have quite as hard a time with the weather, but we've got some unnamed black currants in quarts, 2-gallon and gallon. And then the named varieties, we have Tybin in 2-gallon and gallon, Lewis R in 2-gallon and gallon, and Nancy May, same way. All right. Some bamboo up here. The yellow groove bamboo, which is one of the largest bamboos we can grow in this climate zone, and edible. River cane, the native bamboo that grows around here, is mostly just good for habitat. It's excellent wildlife habitat. Some silky dogwood, red osier dogwood, flowering dogwoods. Those are all our native dogwoods that we have. And then Asian dogwoods, a Cornus Cusa in quart pots. 1 big apple Cusa grafted in a gallon pot. Oh, here we have more of the seedless Che, the Chinese melonberry. We have some Chul Ri and California Dreaming. And then lots of the seedless Che, and both in the quart size and the gallon size. So those are just 16 in quarts and 24 in gallons. More and more seedless Che. And then grapes, we have a couple Fry seedless muscadines, Darlene muscadine, Janet, Sweet Jenny, more Darlene, and then some in the 2-gallon size, Darlene and Summit muscadines, some Carlos. So Carlos and Isons are our only pollinator varieties. They fruit, but they also will pollinate the female-only varieties. So we've got just a few left of those in quart size. And then bunch grapes, we have Buffalo, NYGR7, Vanessa, Tom Cord, Einset, Himrod, more Concord, Ives, Steuben, and Arundel. All right, we have some skirret in quart pots and gallons, some ground nuts in quarts, the LSU groundnut, and I think we have a few wild groundnuts somewhere. Actually, we may be out of the wild ones. Sunchokes, we have Nora and Smooth Red, and just a few Supernova. LSU groundnuts, there's a wild groundnut. Those are gallon size. Kiwis, 55 female hardy kiwi, Geneva 3, and Dumbarton Oaks. Those are the 3 female varieties we have. And then all of our males are in the 2-gallon size for 28. We have Fairchild and Oppets male, and then an unnamed male variety that we've had here on the farm for about 20 years. We have just a few of the jujubes left, of the grafted jujubes, Shi Zi Li and Shi Hong. And then on their own roots, we have Tiger Tooth, and I'm not sure whether we do have some Georgia 866 on its own roots that we haven't gotten out here yet. I'm not sure if we'll sell that until next spring because it's still fairly small. But the jujubes are all a tier 3 plant because they are a lot harder to propagate. Eastern Prince magnolia vine, some orange trumpet vine, willows. We have golden corkscrew willow, dappled willow, Greel biomass willow. And then we have a bunch of nice coral honeysuckle. That's our native honeysuckle. For some reason we have one flat here and one flat down there. Not quite flowering there. Some gold spire ginkgos, one tiny little jade butterfly, a couple Eastern Star female ginkgos, and then maypops. We have both seedlings of the improved maypop and some clones, all in quart pots. Alright, up here on the herb table we have some evergreen wild ginger, and then our local seed source wild ginger. A lot of stuff has really gone dormant for the year, but we still have some black cohosh that's still up, not dormant. Female spice bush. Lots of golden seal. Looks pretty crappy right now, but that's just how it looks this time of year. Same with the bellworts. We have those in both quart size and 3-inch pot size. Some Labrador violet in with the pots of smooth Solomon seal. Dwarf crested iris. More Labrador violet. A couple pots of rue. Some variegated Myoga ginger. Some of our native local seed source white yarrow. Some dianthus. Citronella balm. Raspberry wine, blue stocking, bergamot. Walking onions. Those are the Egyptian walking onions, just in the little 3-inch pots there. Gray catmint, Himalayan silver mint, sochan or cutleaf coneflower, some leaf celery, compact oregano, oregano mint, Zorba red oregano, wild bergamot, topaz St. John's wort, lots of yucca in both gallons and quarts. Some ornamental clovers. Oh, here's the pink bush clover, pink fountains, and salmon in quart size. The Baptisia is looking pretty nice this year. This is the purple hybrid Baptisia, and then also the dwarf Baptisia minor, native Baptisia. Some random sedums. Oh, this pretty little New England aster cultivar. So that's a more compact Kickin' Lilac Blue New England aster. Sochan, swamp milkweed, perennial sorrel, Virginia mountain mint, big leaf mountain mint. It's flowering there. Some wild bergamot, little gold star rudbeckia, purple chives, Roman chamomile, field pussy toes, celandine poppy, ostrich fern, sensitive fern, purple flowering raspberry, Virginia witch hazel, and Ozark witch hazel, the vernalis and the virginiana. The beautyberry is finally fruiting. So we have the American beautyberry in gallons and quarts. That's a really fun one that we're trying for the first time this year. Crispin fernleaf tansy, our native woodland stonecrop, sweetgrass, some little blue spiderwort. Okay, we're back here in the propagation greenhouse. We have a few more things back here that really ought to be getting out on the tables, but you can ask about. We've got some Illinois everbearing mulberries on their own roots. Lewis R. black currant in quart pots. Some that one didn't work out. But there are a couple grafted Cornus moss, the cornelian cherries back here. And also the Cornus cusa. We have a few grafted Cornus cusa. Some blueberries, early blue and Blu-ray, more Blu-ray, in quart pots. A few hyssop. They've been flowering for a while now. There are a few more dwarf Baptisia back there. We've got some of these sort of more ornamental strawberries that we're trying out for the first time this year. But some of those would be available. I want to hang on to some of them to trial them. And the rest of these are cuttings that won't be available until next spring.